Hello everyone and welcome to another video. I'm so excited to be able to be doing another one for you guys. But before we jump into this video, let me introduce myself for any of you who may be new to my channel and don't know who I am. So my name is Mystical Essence and I am an intuitive tarot card reader, oracle card reader, astrologer, and spiritual mentor. I have 13 plus years under my belt, helping people, mentoring people along their spiritual journey. It's really my love and my passion, and it's what I love to do. I love to help empower people. I love to see people excel in their own spiritual growth and development, and I want to do everything I can to help you guys with that too, and to help empower you as spiritual beings, as physical beings, and in whatever other way I possibly can. So, if you are into tarot, if you're into astrology, or if you're into spirituality in general, please feel free to click the thumbs up button or give this channel a subscribe below. So, subscribing to this channel does send you notifications whenever I post a new video so you don't miss any of my content. So with that being said, let's jump into this video, shall we? So in this video, we are going to talk about the witch's pyramid. So I'm so excited to jump into this and dive into this with you. So in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about what the witch's pyramid is, what it represents, the principles involved in it, and then we're going to get into each of the individual principles and talk about them a little bit. So let's dive into this and get started. So to begin with, I want to talk about what the witch's pyramid is. So the witch's pyramid is a tool, and it is a tool that is used for manifestation. So it has been used for centuries in one way or another by witches to aid with their manifestation. So if you do a lot of spell work, a lot of manifesting, that kind of thing, this might be something that interests you. So the witch's pyramid is based off of 4 principles, and each of these principles also connect to an element. And more modernly, it has had a 5th principle added to it as well. So there are some variations of the witch's pyramid as well, so feel free to look into other variations of this if that is something that resonates with you. So the witch's pyramid is originally based off of the 5 principles of the Sphinx, and they link into that. So the Sphinx is a creature that is made up of 4 different parts, and each part of the Sphinx connects to an element. And when all of the elements combine and are balanced, we're able to manifest. So the 4 parts of the Sphinx are the human head. It has the front end of a lion, the back end of a bull, and eagle wings. So again, these 4 parts, they each connect to one of the 4 elements. So the human head connects to the element of air. The front end of the lion connects to the element of fire. The back end of the bull connects to the element of earth. And the eagle wings connect to the element of water. So if you know anything about astrology, you will also know that these connect with the 4 fixed signs. So the human head is representative of Aquarius. The lion front is representative of Leo. The behind of the bull is represented by Taurus. And the eagle wings is represented by Scorpio. So that's just a little fun fact for you. So the next thing I wanted to go over very quickly is the principles involved in the witch's pyramid. So I will go deeper into these principles, but this is just an overview of them right this moment. So the witch's pyramid contains 4 main or original principles, and then there was a more modern 5th principle added to it later. So the 4 original principles are to will, to dare, to know, and to keep silent. And then we have the fifth principle, which was a more modern addition. And that principle is to do. So, the very first principle I want to talk about is the principle of to know. And this has to do with knowledge. And essentially, this is knowing what you need to do to achieve what it is you want to achieve. It's pretty basic. So this can come in many different forms, okay? So it depends on what you are wanting to do, right? If you're wanting to do something like maybe a spell, right? This could come in knowing what you want to do and achieve with that spell, knowing why you're using the things you are using in that spell and how they contribute and help you achieve what it is you want to achieve. It could be knowing simple spell structure. How is a spell written? What goes into a spell, right? And understanding that. If you're doing a ritual or something that's been repeated over time, it's knowing the origins of that ritual. Where did that ritual come from? Why is it used? What is the purpose of it? If you're doing actions, body gestures, mudras, hand gestures, things like that, why are you doing them? And understanding the techniques and the proper way to do them and doing the research into that. If you're doing visualization, right, it could be as simple as understanding and knowing, what visualization is, how it all works, different types of visualization techniques and ways to do it. That all comes in under to know. Okay. So it all comes in under the knowledge bit. Now, there's lots of different ways you can gain knowledge as well. So some people learn from observing. They step back and they watch, and that's a good way to learn spell work sometimes. Watch a spell be done. Some people also learn through talking to other people and communicating and having conversations with other people. Some people gain knowledge through reading, through researching, through studying, and other people gain knowledge through themselves. And that's another way that I feel like it gets downplayed a lot, because a lot of people, for some reason, we tend to trust other people more than we trust ourselves. So when we're getting knowledge from ourselves, we tend to question that a lot more. But that is also a form of knowledge that we are being asked when we know something just within ourselves. That's another part of to know and trusting that. So I come across this a lot with new witches, they're like, I don't know anything. Well, you do know something, I guarantee it. The other thing is, we've lived lifetimes, multiple lifetimes, most of us, right? We've gained knowledge and understanding through those lifetimes and through those experiences, and sometimes that can bubble up into this lifetime and experiences we have in this lifetime as well. So just trusting our own inner knowing and trusting our own inner knowledge that way, right? And trusting ourselves. It doesn't even have to be magical knowledge. That's another thing. Like, a lot of new practitioners are like, I'm new to this. I don't have any knowledge about how magic works or anything like that. You don't need to. Here's the thing. Everyday knowledge can be transferred into magical knowledge. And I'm going to give you an example of this. So a good example of this, one that I was thinking about the other day, is a Band-Aid, right? What does a Band-Aid do? Everybody knows. Now, whether you call it a Band-Aid or something else depends on where in the world you are, but the general purpose of a Band-Aid is to cover a wound. So when we get a cut, right, we throw a Band-Aid over it or something over it to protect it so that it can heal faster and doesn't get infected or is not open to things that could slow the healing process, right? Well, you could take that knowledge and apply it magically and use that Band-Aid in magical workings that have to do with protection and healing. Okay, so when people say they don't have any knowledge, I guarantee you guys have knowledge. It's just a matter of understanding how to translate that knowledge into magical purposes. But essentially, whatever something can do mundanely, you can use it in a magical working the same way. So that's just a tip for you all. But on that note, I'm going to move on to the next principle, which is to dare. So the next principle I want to talk about is to dare. And this has to do with taking a chance, taking a risk, daring to do what needs to be done in order to manifest what it is we want to manifest, or to achieve what it is we want to achieve. So when we do any type of magical working, there's never a solid 100% guarantee that it will work out the way we want it to. Never, ever. There's always a chance that something may mess up. And this is the biggest piece I find also, that besides the knowledge, that stops people from wanting to do any type of magical working, especially new witches, because they're like, what if I screw up? What if it doesn't work? What if I do something wrong, right? Well, the to dare bit is, well, yes, it could go wrong. Yes, it could screw up, but are you going to take the chance to do it anyways? Or are you going to let that fear hold you back, right? We can't grow and we can't cultivate things unless we dare to do them. Same with magical spells, magical workings, manifestation of any kind. You cannot do it unless you dare to take that chance to do it. Right? It may not work out. If it doesn't work out, that's okay. It's a learning experience. You can gain more knowledge and understanding about what went wrong and what not to do next time. And if it does work out, even better, because it builds your confidence, and then you're more confident when you're doing spells in the future, right? So either way, it could work out, it might not work out, but it's about taking that chance in order to do what needs to be done to achieve what it is you want to achieve. If we don't take that chance, then we never know, right? If you don't take that chance, then it's 100% guaranteed to fail, because you're never going to do it. So on that note, we're going to move on to will, and that is the third principle. So the third part of the witch's pyramid is will, to will. And this is our passion and our desire and our will to make this happen. Okay, so will comes through in our energy, right? When we are doing spell work, when we're doing manifestation work, when we're doing whatever it is we want to do in order to achieve what it is we want to achieve, are we doing it with zest? Are we putting our energy into it? Are we doing it with our whole heart and our whole soul? Are we doing it with ambition, with the drive, with energy, right? So when we do spell work, or, are you really, putting energy behind your words if you're using words? If you're doing visualization work, are you feeling and putting the energy into what it is you are seeing? Are you taking action? Do you believe it can happen? That's the other thing. A lot of new witches, or even witches in general, I've seen this in my mentoring, where they come to me and they're like, this didn't work and I don't understand why what I was doing didn't work. And a lot of it came down to the will bit. Well, you didn't believe that it was going to work. You didn't have the faith that it was going to work. Therefore, when you're doing something and you don't necessarily 100% believe in what you're doing, you're not putting your whole heart, your whole being, your whole energy into it. So that can block you, that can prevent things from manifesting, right? So when you go to do manifesting, you need to make sure there is a will behind it. There is energy behind it. There's a passion. There's a desire to make this happen. And there's a belief that it will. So that is to will, okay? It is our passion. It is our will, our willpower. What extents and what lengths are we willing to do and go to make this happen. That's another thing. Like sometimes we come up against trials and tribulations in our magical works. Are we willing to work through those? Are we willing to, overcome any obstacles that may be put in our way, or, fight through anything that we need to fight through, or learn what we need to learn? That kind of thing. So the next part of this is the fourth principle, and that is to keep silent. So this has to do with having discernment, okay? So when we do any type of magical working, this is something that is not done enough, I feel like, or it's done less and less, because we do have such an open society now. We've been suppressed in our work for so long that now we're able to openly express it and show it to people. And now people are a little more open about their work than they have been in the past. I feel like this was a principle that in the past was more adhered to than it is now. But to keep silent just means that to have discernment about who you tell and who you talk to about your workings, right? There's reasons for this, there's a few different reasons. For one, the keep silent part, after you've done the manifestation work, right? The keeping silent kind of is that step back, like I say to a lot of people, put the energy out there and then take the step back, right? The will is the movement of the energy. It is putting the energy out there. It is pushing the energy out there. But then you need to step back and allow the universe to do whatever it is going to do and give your energy time to manifest, right? To give all that energy that you have put out time to manifest and come back. And that's where the keep silent bit comes in, right? It allows you to have time to listen, to have time to reflect. When we are talking, or our minds chattering, we don't hear. And there could be other things we have to do. There could be other things that needed to be added on, or, and we aren't going to hear that if we're constantly going on and on and on and on and on. The other thing is there are people, beings, and things and energies that will mess with your shit when you do it. Okay? So when you go out and you talk to other people about it, there is a chance that once these other people know what you have done, it could be as easy as it being them wanting to reverse it for whatever reason, and then they try and reverse it. You never really know who is listening. Okay? So even if you are talking to somebody who you trust, they have connections to other people. They may go and talk to other people about it or whatever. Or there could be other spirits listening, other energetic beings that we can't necessarily see, right? There's lots of things that can play into spell work and play into manifestation work and prevent it. So keeping silent kind of just helps with the whole manifestation. It gives that manifestation time to develop and to grow, right? And to become stronger. The more time it has with the less interference, then the stronger it can become and the stronger your manifestation will be, if that makes sense. So, the to keep silent part is that part where we just step back, we keep it to ourselves, we kind of let it go, right? We let it flow and we're just like, it's done, it's over. We don't talk about it, we don't think about it, we just let it be in order to allow it to manifest. Okay, and the last and final part of this is the fifth principle, which is the to go. This is a more modern principle. It was added by Aleister Crowley. I did do some research into this and there wasn't a whole lot I could find on it. But the basic concept was after you've done all this, followed all the principles of the which is pyramid of the four basic ones, that it leads to a more evolutionized understanding of things. And then it is a concept of, well, where do I go from here? right? What are my next steps? And looking at things from the current evolutionalized point that you are. Now, remember, evolution just means change. It's a fancy word for change. We've evolved, we've changed, right? When you manifest something, you change your circumstances. And even if you manifest success or you manifest failure, right? Because again, we can manifest both, it still changes, right? So you've changed and you've evolved, and it's like, so where do we go from here? What are the next steps, right? So if you maybe failed, looking at what didn't succeed and looking at learning from that and really working on improving that. Or if you succeeded, maybe it's well, what are my next steps? What are something else I would like to change? What needs to be done next, kind of thing. And that is the to go bit. What are the next steps after I've created this change? Now things have been created, they've been changed. I'm sitting in this different point than I was, this higher point. What's next? What do I do? Where do I go? And it sometimes can also be a walking the walk depending on what you're wanting to manifest, right? If you're wanting to manifest more love, are you being the loving person that you want to manifest, right? Are you spreading the love in the world that you want to manifest? Are you living by what it is you created, sort of thing? So, yeah, that is to go. And that is the Witch's Pyramid in a nutshell. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you guys have any questions or concerns about this, or this video, suggestions on how I could improve things, whatever the case may be, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. Share this video out if you think somebody else could benefit from it, and give me a thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff if you've really enjoyed this. And I hope to see you guys all in the next video. Bye, guys.